Greetings. Today I'm going to give 7 tips about doing videos on YouTube. Now, some of you may look and say, how are you going to be giving tips when you don't even have 1,000 people yet? Because I've been watching a lot of other videos from people who do have a lot of subscribers, a lot of them over 100,000, and they've been giving tips based on what they do. And I know a lot of people, probably like me in general, aren't watching those types because we come on YouTube to be entertained, but every once in a while we come on YouTube to want to learn something. So I've got 7 tips I'm going to give you based on a lot of these people that I've been watching. So the first one is to announce your topic very early in the video, as I did with this one. I don't always do that, but in this case, I want to talk about certain things, and by me telling you what the topic is, hopefully you'll stick around and watch the entire thing. Maybe you'll find something that you're interested in hearing about, and you may just stick around. When I get to the last point, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Number 2, don't ask people to like and subscribe to your video before you've actually even started the video. I see this a lot. The thing is, if you're already popular, then you probably have no worries that most of your audience is going to leave as soon as you start that without telling everybody what you're going to talk about. But for those of us who aren't big yet, if I start off, say, hey, if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to it, but you haven't seen anything, a lot of times you may just say, I'm out of here, and leave. And you never know if I'm talking about anything valuable, but see, that's on me because I've driven you away already by looking like I'm begging for people to like and subscribe my videos. So that's number 2. Number 3, don't use the cards feature to highlight other videos or articles or blog posts or whatever. Wait until you actually have done the video and you're uploading everything, and then put those links into the description. The reason for that, it's very interesting. I'd never thought about it before, but like say you're doing a video and you want to highlight a video that you did previously, or you want to highlight a video that someone else did that is given information that you're talking about that you want to link them to. Well, if I put it in there early and then that I thing shows up, you might decide to go check that out, see some other stuff, and say, let me click on this, and go and watch those things. You're probably not coming back to my channel if that happens. And you're probably not going back to the channel of the person you're watching. And like I said, unless it's a big time person who you're already subscribed to. So you don't want to give people a reason to have to leave your page early. So don't do that. I thought that was very good because I did a video here where I was talking about how I beat a nursing home. And I put a link to a John Oliver video early in one of those cards. And if anyone clicked on that, well, he's going to be a lot more entertaining than me. Although by watching him, you're not going to find out how I beat the nursing home, but maybe you're more interested in him. He's an entertaining guy. So that's dangerous. Number 4, at least make sure your thumbnail is well lighted. I am not a master of thumbnails. I do not have an artistic, creative streak in my body. In my life, I was only able to draw 2 different types of things well. Everything else, horrible. Still, one of the things that no one's ever going to be able to say about me, except for my very earliest videos, is that my thumbnails were dull, that you couldn't see me, that you couldn't see the words. Because I make sure that I have enough lighting. Matter of fact, I use the same camera to take the picture most of the time that I use to do my videos. So once I do that, I've got enough lighting. But I also, I crop it a little bit so I can fit it in with the title of the video or what I'm going to talk about in the video. And then I move it to a photo program where I make sure that it's lightened enough so that people can see me. Brown skin. Want to make sure that y'all can see me. So do that with your videos, because I've come across a lot of other smaller YouTube channels where people are basically, you can't see them. Everything is dark. And of course their videos are dark. If you've got a dark video, you need a light. Just put a light in there. I'm letting you know this is a big deal to a lot of people. Number 5, don't overdo jump cuts. one of the guys who was giving this specific YouTube thing talked about how you see certain folks who actually, some of these people have ended up being popular. I don't understand it, but there you go. But you see jump cuts every few seconds. And I know why they're doing that, because, you know, I've thought about every once in a while when I may do a stutter. I haven't learned how to edit videos yet, just so you know, but I'll do something and there's that pause in there, and I said, you know what, if I knew how to edit, I would go back and cut that and then go on with it. Well, that's fine. But if you're doing it every 2 to 3 seconds, there's no cohesiveness in your video. You're just jumping all over the place. And you know, when you do a jump cut in your video, your head is never in the same spot that it was when you were saying everything. So if you're doing it a lot, that's irritating. And it could really off-put people early on if they don't know who you are and they're not really familiar with you, that you're just jumping so much. So try not to do that if that's something you're looking at. Keep a little humanity. You know, none of us are perfect. So sometimes we're going to mess up. Just let that stay in there, unless it's really egregious. And in that case, I can understand a cut, but you're not going to do that, you know, throughout the entire video. So think about that. Number 6, if you're reviewing something, don't stretch it out with a lot of fluff. Now, a different guy did a review of a technology guy who was talking about home security cameras. And he was going to highlight this one particular security camera. The thing is that it seems he didn't really know anything about the camera before he started. So he's reviewing something that he just bought and decided to bring home, and he's going to talk about it. And one of the things that he did was he showed everybody the website, which was the advertisement for the camera, and he's reading it off. And the guy who was reviewing that video said, why would you do that? One, it's too much information. Nobody cares about all that. They came here because they wanted to hear your review. They didn't want to hear what the company was saying. You didn't need all that. And the guy did that quite a few times. He also turned out that he was looking at the camera because he decided he was going to hook up the camera right then and there when everyone was watching. But there was a lot of time where he didn't know where his stuff was. And, you know, it really was kind of embarrassing. The truth of the matter is, I actually had one of those cameras already. I'm thinking, wow, it didn't take me that long when I was doing it on my own to figure it out. It shouldn't take that long. And you're supposed to be the technology guy. Anyway, his video ended up being over 23 minutes long. And the guy who was reviewing that video said, if you would cut out all that fluff, you'd have got to everything that you wanted. You could have done this video in about 6 minutes. And you would have kept your audience, because you just kind of rambled and you showed all this stuff and no one was interested in. It was an interesting point. So if you're going to review something, at least already have some kind of idea ahead of time before you actually create it. Doesn't mean you're supposed to know everything about it, but you should have at least maybe read something about it beforehand. So, you know, for instance, if I had done something about the security camera, I'd have said, okay, this is the Wise blankety blank home security camera, and I read that it does this and this, it has this and this, and here we go. That's all you really need to hear. You didn't need to hear the entire advertisement for those other people. And here's number 7. If you're doing a tutorial of some kind, add timestamps. Now, it took me the longest time to understand exactly what this is, but if you look in my description, you're going to see that there are timestamps for every single point that I've put in this video. So if someone sees a description of something, or I'm talking about a YouTube tip, and that's the one they want to jump to, rather than sit through all of them, they can jump through that. That's still watch time when it comes to my video. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm. It helps YouTube figure out, hey, there's something that was interesting in this video that people wanted to see. And then they're going to highlight your video in other videos where people are giving YouTube tips. Well, okay, in my case, YouTube tips. But in your case, whatever it is you're talking about, you're now going to get highlighted on a lot of other channels on your topic. And that's interesting. because when I first discovered that by watching other videos, I said, oh, what is that thing? And I use it. So it's wonderful where you have it sometimes. There's a lot of other videos where I wish they had it. And there's probably a whole bunch of my videos where some people may say, well, I wish you had that. But I've put them in there from time to time. And I think it helps people. It certainly helps those who want to say, hey, wait a minute, I can identify with that. Let me click on that and stay with it. And the idea for most of us is we want to try to keep our viewers around for a long time. And I'm saying that because there's this new trend of people who are making videos that are a minute or less. You know what? I'm too old to even think about that. I'm not doing it. I ain't doing TikTok and I'm not doing any of that other stuff. I need to get what I want out in the open and then go. Anyway, there's 7 YouTube tips. I'm already doing some of those. A couple of those I'm kind of bad at, but I'm going to get better. Let me know what you think. And let me know if there's anything here that you disagree with that the other experts have been saying that I've just given you. And now, if you like this, think about liking it. Think about subscribing. Isn't that much better? Y'all take care.